Part 3, the stretched syllable target review. Remember, when you monitor the stretched syllable target, you feel the articulators, the muscles toward the front of the mouth, held in the first sound position that should be stretched for half the duration of the syllable.
Now you can hear me. All
Feel
right.
a definite completion of the final sound
I'm
position.
gonna get right into
of
it here,
each syllable
so
that you say. I will now give you some time to practice the stretched syllable target. I will say some single syllable words, and let's practice these at half-second stretch. Monitor the full breath and the stretched syllable target. Remember to feel the muscles toward the front of the mouth, the articulators, being held still for half the duration of the syllable. Remember, this practice will be at half-second stretch. After I say the word, I'll give you enough time to take your slow, full breath and also monitor the feelings toward the front of the mouth for the stretched syllable target. Let's start.
let's start.
Man.
Man. Hope everyone can hear me okay.
Voice.
Voice.
Snore.
Snore.
Lamp.
Lamp.
Lame.
Lame.
Snake.
Snake.
Throat.
Throat.
Ross.
Ross.
Fred.
Fred.
Sneak.
Sneak. One down.
Part 4. Gentle
Hope
onset
everyone's
target
having
review.
a good Tuesday night.
Remember, you monitored the gentle onset target by feeling the soft, gentle vibrations at the vocal fold level. Really feel the vocal fold area. The vibrations begin gently, increase smoothly in amplitude to a louder or slightly than louder amplitude level, and complete the onset by reducing the amplitude to the point at which you began the onset.
Need to sit back.
Let's
maybe
practice
a
some
little more.
single syllable words with the gentle onset target. Monitor full breath and gentle onset on these single syllable words at half-second stretch. Like with the full breath and stretch syllable target, I'll give you enough time to repeat after me after I do the full breath and gentle onset practices. Let's get going on gentle onset.
Let's get going.
Ice.
Ice.
Earn.
Earn.
Is.
Is.
Ink.
Ink.
Off.
Off.
Inch.
Inch.
You.
You. So bad at that one. You.
Make.
Make.
Road.
Road. light,
damp,
damp,
sleek,
fleek. 2 down, 3 to go.
Part 5, the amplitude contour target review. Remember that the amplitude contour target is simply hooking together 2 or more gentle voice onsets. You feel the vibrations of the vocal folds begin gently, increase to a strong level, decrease back down to the initial gentle level on each and every syllable. Feel the gentle vibrations continue between the syllables. Let's practice some 2-syllable words now. Again, I will give you time to repeat the 2-syllable words after me. Monitor full breath and amplitude contour on these 2-syllable words at half-second stretch.
All right. 3 more to go. 3 more.
Remove.
Remove.
Nightly.
Nightly.
Item.
Item. 8 people right now? What are you guys doing? Summer. This is always the horrible, it's so slow, horrible part. Dinner.
Cancelled.
Cancelled.
Gentle.
Gentle.
Onsets.
Onsets. What's up, Brady? My man. Oh, 2 left. 2 left. LA against LA tonight.
Part 6.
A big good game.
Full breath and stretched syllable target pair practice.
It's too bad it starts at 9 o'clock.
Syllable durations.
It's late for me. Getting too old for that.
Monitor the full breath and stretched syllable targets on the following sentences. Remember, use as many syllables per exhalation as you comfortably can. I'll try to not make the sentences too long. You should be able to complete each sentence on 1 exhalation of air at slow normal syllable durations, monitoring full breath
Time
and
for
stretched
some
syllables.
sentences.
Remember to start the air and the voice at the peak of the inhalation without any hesitation. Feel the articulators hold stable in the first sound position for half the duration of each syllable.
What was that?
Let's get started on our first target pair.
Let's get it going, Ross. Let's get it going.
John's pajamas were covered with jelly.
John's pajamas were covered with jelly. Here's a tough one.
Landlords like long-term leases.
Landlords like long-term leases. Oh, that's too bad. All those L's.
How are
tricky.
you feeling today?
How are you feeling today?
Check to see if he is wearing his coat.
Check to see if he is wearing his coat.
I saw a black cat yesterday.
I saw a black cat yesterday.
Make sure your inhalation is not too fast.
Make sure your inhalation is not too fast.
I went to church on Sunday.
I went to church on Sunday. One more. Uno más.
Part 7. Full breath and amplitude contour target pair practice at slow normal syllable durations.
All right.
Remember to monitor the full breath target by feeling the slow outward movement of the diaphragm and relaxed open vocal tract. Start the air in the voice at the peak of the inhalation without any hesitation as you begin voicing. Feel the vibrations of the vocal folds begin gently, increase to a strong level, and then decrease back down to the initial gentle level on each and every syllable. Feel the gentle vibrations continue between the syllables.
One more.
I will do the sentence and then give you enough time to monitor the full breath and amplitude contour targets before going to the next one. Let's do FB and AC. Letterman is too late for early risers.
Letterman is too late for early risers. Those L's are terrible. Terrible.
When are you going to see the show?
When are you going to see the show?
I can't wait to hear that CD.
I can't wait to hear that CD.
Will you be able to leave on the next flight?
Will you be able to leave on the next flight?
I do not like lawyers.
I do not like lawyers.
It is unusual to see her here.
It is unusual to see her here.
I like the movie Chicken Run.
I like the movie Chicken Run.
Be sure to feel your targets when you speak.
Be sure to feel your targets when you speak. Alright, time to read. Time to read from the Uncommon Life. Alright. I'm determined to have a good day today. So let's get some agua. Let's slow everything down, breathe everything out, and get it going. Alright. No more struggles. All positivity around here. Jordy, look at that. Look at the Jordy emote on the screen. Nice. Okay. Alright. This is called Empty Pockets. Alright. The verse is from Haggai 1, verse 6. I'm not even sure what Haggai even is, actually, to be honest, but here we go. You have planted much, but harvest little. You eat, but are not satisfied. You drink, but are still thirsty. All these freaking yous. You put on clothes, but cannot keep warm. Your wages disappear as though you were putting them in pockets filled with holes. Alright, onto the context, or whatever you call this part. Alright. What a thing to say. Your wages disappear as though you were putting them in pockets filled with holes. Sound familiar? Let me start the sentence over. It seems on target and relevant today. How many people do we know who really like their jobs, feel they get paid more than enough, and are totally satisfied with where they are in life? These days it almost goes without saying that our pockets are filled with holes. Nothing of this world satisfies. Contentment seems impossible to find in all the places we look. The Lord, however, offers us rest. We really can find contentment in the Lord. In Philippians 4, verse 13, the Apostle Paul says, I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength. Many people consider that verse to be one of the most inspiring in Scripture. But what preceded Paul's proclamation? Let me get a little water break. Doing pretty good though, huh? How's that for improvement? You like that? You like that? Alright. Okay. This. Okay. These verses are from 11 through 12. Not that I was ever in need, for I have learned how to be content with whatever I have. I know how to live on almost. You like that? That's funny. Nothing or with everything. I have learned the. I'll put this down a little bit. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it is with a full stomach or empty, with plenty or little. That was the verses there. Continuing on. Paul could do all things, including being content in any situation through Christ. See, I just gotta slow everything down. Through Christ. This was always a challenge for me when I was coaching. Our players were as susceptible to the pulls and tugs of the world as any one, but their situations were compounded in most cases by having plenty of money. Need a quick drink of water here. All right. Plenty of money. And so their lifestyles often included multiple cars, large homes, and other expensive items. Unfortunately, I often noticed a lack of contentment from a group of young men whose average salary was over $1 million a year. Paul says contentment is found in a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. Paul was a prisoner for Christ, and in the trials and difficulties of his ministry for Christ, including prison time, he found contentment and rest for each day, and the assurance that he would find contentment in the days ahead. Are you water break? We're almost done. Okay. Let's start that over. You are you grumbling and discontent about something in your life. Stop grumbling and start thanking God for everything He has provided for you. All right. The uncommon key here at the end. For those who don't know, there's an uncommon key here at the end of each of these. Alright. Consider getting a small cross to carry in your pockets. It it will remind you that contentment and satisfaction will not be breathe, you idiot. Found in the things of the world, but in a relationship see, I can see the end, so I'm just trying, I just gotta slow everything down. With the Lord Jesus Christ. There it is. That's today's reading. And the guest Hannah is on her way. So that's gonna be pretty awesome, to be honest. Pretty pumped to have her on for sure. Pretty excited. How's everyone doing? So if you subscribe, you get an emote that I have added on there. It is of Jordy. Ain't that cool? Look at that. Look at that big boy. So if you subscribe, you can have that emote. How cool is that? What's up, Mr. Jordy? I think he's on the couch just chilling, but I'm sure he's going to go crazy as soon as Hannah gets here. So hopefully he's not too bad, but he gets pretty crazy, not gonna lie. I'm gonna take these off. I don't know why I had them on. You know what? Actually, we're gonna keep them on. We're gonna put on some tunes. You know? Anyone interested in some tunes? Huh? Put on some music a little bit and just hang out until Hannah comes, and then we can start up on that. So we're just gonna hang out for a bit. The job is pretty good. I have my jot down as I talk. I have not had a chance to do a whole lot yet. It has been a whole bunch of HR papers and all that stuff, so hopefully it improves, obviously, the more I get into the actual job and all of that stuff. So it'll be fun. It'll be a good time, I think. I think I'll enjoy it a lot. Any other updates that I have? NBA's on. It's on in a half hour, I believe. NBA starts in a half hour. That I'm pretty excited to have on. NFL's on, MLB, NBA, everything's on right now. Petreg, how's everything going? So Hannah's on her way. I don't know how long of a drive it is for her, but who is my NBA champ prediction? Good question. NBA champ prediction, I'd say LA. How's that? LA. So if you say LA, you can get LeBron, AD, Kawhi, and Paul George. Get all four. I'll say LA. So I may have to go to the home opener here because Jimmy's in town, so you know. Too easy of an answer, you're probably right. Here's what I'll say for my NBA prediction. I think it's gonna be out of the Eastern Conference, I'm gonna say, and I am not interested in this at all, but I think it's going to be the the I'm gonna try and jot it down so I can easily say it. The Philadelphia yeah out of the Eastern Conference. Out of the other conference, LA Clippers is who I'm gonna take. If I am interested in a sleeper of each of those conferences, let's see, out of the Eastern Conference, I'm gonna go Hawks. Actually, I'm gonna go with the Hawks out of the Eastern Conference. Potentially a sleeper in the we're gonna put on some JD here. Christian, I love that man. MVP prediction. That's another one. That's a good one. MVP. You know what I'm gonna go with? Not Giannis. So it'll have to be someone from another conference. Just the pace and MVP prediction. I want to say James Harden. Actually, that's who I'm interested in. I think. Yep, that's on the go. MVP James Harden. If we're talking MVP of the NFL, 12. That's what I got. That's what I got. Take me to the other side. MVP NFL, Rodgers. Discount double checky. Oh, I'm gonna turn this off. Actually, we're just gonna chat. So in a couple of days here, it's the Case Keenum revenge game here, huh? It's actually like so it's Keenum, and then it's also AP too, huh? AP's coming to town, as is Keenum. Oh, whole lot going on. Andre Splash 32. AP's coming to town. That's right. AP and Keenum. That's probably just gonna be a bad game. That's gonna be a blowout. That's gonna be rough. It's gonna be over early. Real early. He's playing. He's playing. Come on now, he's playing. dates. So as soon as Hannah comes here, I'm gonna do an ad quick, so it's not just like a screen here. So I'm gonna pull that up to get that prepared. If you aren't interested in the ad, you can subscribe. So then the ad won't pop up. What do you think about that? Okay, let's see here. I don't even know how I did this last time. I'm gonna try and figure it out. So since should be pulling up here. I haven't heard from Hannah yet, but she's probably almost here, I would imagine. And then Jordy is gonna go crazy. He's gonna go crazy. How the heck did I do the ad? I don't even remember anymore. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Oh, there it is. Oh, text from Hannah. Is she here? I'm here. Alright. Chat, I will be right back. So I'm going to put this ad on here. Be right back.
This is my puppy. Oh my gosh. Hi. Oh my god. This is so nice. Yeah, this is so nice. Hi. Oh my god, you're so cute. Hi. Oh my confetti's all over me. Okay. Oh my gosh.
I know, right?
Silence.
Big time. Big time, big time. Alright,
Okay, we're
I'm
done.
gonna put here.
Want me to go inside?
No, I'll go here. You can go there.
You sure?
Yep.
How? Oh my god, this is so legit.
Alright.
Ah!
There you go. You're on the screen. Look at that.
Oh my god, okay, hold on. Can people see us right now?
They can. It's
Oh,
live right now.
Great!
What do you think about that?
That's great. You should have warned me.
I should have probably warned you, but no, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
No big deal.
Alright. Alright. I wish I had a little more time to pet your dog, but that's okay.
So how's it going?
Great.
Everything's all good with you?
Yeah?
Good.
Pretty good. How about you?
Good.
How's your new job? I missed the update.
It's not bad.
Good.
Not bad at all yet.
Not at yet.
Not bad at all yet, yeah.
Okay, let me... Oh, I printed everything out. I don't need this.
You don't need it all?
Nope.
Alright,
I'm
so
ready.
here is everything's right here. This bad boy, but
Okay. Sounds good.
the chat's here
Okay.
as well. So
Hello, everyone. I can't tell which way this way is in the camera.
there's
Oh.
the camera's right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. So if I go this way, no one can see me.
Yeah, that's right. We
Okay.
can actually we should move this a little bit.
Oh, great. Now I can't get out.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All
You
right.
printed off a lot of stuff there, I see.
Well, okay. There's a lot of information. I didn't know how scientific to get, so I just highlighted stuff that was like, maybe this will come up in conversation, and I wanted the facts. You know?
You got a lot.
I got-
That's good though. That's good. That's good. I like
I'm
that.
prepared, everyone.
She's all good to rock.
I am ready. Okay, there's a page. Where did that go?
What? Don't be nervous.
I'm not
Don't be
nervous. Okay.
Yeah.
How do we start?
What's that?
We're started, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So, should I introduce myself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would do that.
Okay. Okay, so I'm Hannah. I met Tyler in 7th grade. His
A long time ago.
yeah, it was a long time ago. His little sister Kelsey and I became best friends, and I literally lived at the Schmidt household all throughout middle school, all throughout high school. Brad and Sherry were like my second parents. I mean, we did family vacations a lot. And crazy enough, I did not know how that Tyler had a stuttering problem. He hit it that well from me. I don't know how that's even possible.
I'm good at that.
But when
You did a
this
good
came
job.
out, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What is he talking about? I mean, I spend so much time with you guys.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Yeah, I was shocked. I actually cried. I was like, how did I not know? But I'm glad I know now.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'm here because I have type 1 diabetes. I've had it since I've been 10 years old. I'm 25, so I've had it for 15 years.
Getting old, huh?
I'm getting old, yeah. Almost 16 years. You would think that after 15 years I'd be quite the expert. That is very false. Diabetes, there's type 2, there's type 1, there's gestational. A lot of people don't know that there's different types of diabetes. You know, you and I had talked and you were like, oh, I didn't even know that there was a type 1. Or,
Yeah.
So basically the difference between type 1 and type 2, type 2, you're insulin resistant. Usually, like, the stigma behind it is people are overweight, and that's why they're type 2, because their body can't produce enough insulin to cover their body mass. That's not necessarily true. People can be thin and have type 1 or type 2 diabetes. It's all how much insulin your pancreas can produce.
Okay.
So, like, a really thin person could have type 2 diabetes, but the stigma is that obese people do. I have type 1, so that means that my pancreas produces no insulin. They're not quite sure why this happens or how it happens. It's very random who it happens to. Out of all diabetics, only 5% are type 1. So there's like 1.5 million people in America that have type 1 diabetes.
Wow.
I wrote down a really scientific explanation what type 1 is, but I think
Let's hear it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
So my immune system, I'll say it simply first. My immune system fights off my beta cells. My beta cells produce insulin. Insulin breaks down glucose, which is sugar, in your blood sugar. Without insulin, your sugar in your blood becomes acidic, and that can kill you. With too much insulin, your blood sugar becomes low, and that can kill you. So it's a delicate balance between giving yourself insulin, like synthetic insulin that I get from the pharmacy, and making sure I'm not giving myself too much insulin. So basically, I have to be my own pancreas. And it is a very hard job, because as soon as you think you have it nailed, everything changes the next day. So it's not like a continuum of like, oh, you're just going to stay on this track. It's constantly changing.
All day, every day.
Every day. I mean, you can control what you eat when you exercise, but I can't control the weather. I can't control who I'm around and if they're sick, because I have no immune system. So if you're sick, I get sick.
Right.
And then when I get sick to a level of like, it's 2 weeks and I'm still sick.
Crazy.
Yeah, last year I got influenza and I almost died. It was terrible. So everyone get your flu shot. Do it. It's not about you. It's about everybody who can't fight it off.
That's crazy.
Shameless plug, sorry.
No,
Hi.
crazy.
So they think that type 1 diabetes happens. It can be hereditary. The thing about type 1 diabetes is it's kind of left out of the conversation when you talk about diabetes. Like the epidemic is everyone's overweight and or type 2.
Right.
But no one really talks about type 1. So there's not been a ton of research done into why and how. They do know that it can be passed down by your parents, but they don't know why. So this is my scientific explanation for you. All right. The HLA, so the human leukocyte antigen system or gene, is a complex encoding gene that encodes the major histocompatibility complex proteins, so the MHC proteins in humans. All HLA genes are highly polymorphic, meaning that they have different alleles, allowing them to fine-tune and adapt any immune system. So scientists think that the HLA gene somehow manipulates your immune system into fighting off your beta cells. And they think that happens by either an environmental cause. So like my story is, I was 10. Going up to when I got diagnosed, I had a cold for like 3 months that wouldn't go away. I had shingles on my back, which is super rare as a 10-year-old, right? I was drinking a lot. I was water, obviously. I had lost a lot of weight, and as a 10-year-old, like losing a lot of weight's not a common thing. My vision was blurry. I was super crabby, which are all like characteristics of high blood sugar. So my mom and I had gone to the doctor because I just wasn't getting better. And by the time we had driven home from Le Sueur, like the Le Sueur clinic, to my home, which is like 2 minutes, the doctors had called and they're like, she has to come back.
Really?
And I was very sleepy as a child. So my mom was like, all right, Hannah, I'm going to go call your grandma really quick. Then we'll go. I'm like, okay. So I crawl up the stairs and she's on the phone with my grandma. And I hear her say, like, she has diabetes and she's crying. And I was like, I'm going to die? Like, I have diabetes? Like, I had no idea. Oddly enough, my uncle, Bill, has diabetes as well, but he got his when he was 31, which is rare, really rare. Most diabetes type 1 happens when you're younger for some reason. Let me see, why?
That's crazy.
Yeah, sorry, I get on tangents and then I lose where I was at.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it sucks because it's like there's no one can give me why, you know? And insulin, synthetic insulin, there's an epidemic going on right now where a lot of diabetics type 1 are dying because they're rationing their insulin because insulin is so expensive. So people literally have to choose between eating or insulin. Like that's a true, like people have to do that. I'm fortunate enough to have parents who make sure that I have everything I could medically need when it comes to type 1 diabetes, and that's not the case for a lot of people. So there's current like legislation going on to make affordable insulin. In the United States alone, insulin is 3 times more expensive than anywhere else. And to compare it to like a simple term, like insulin is like chemo. So like for cancer patients, they need chemo and radiation to live or to have a fighting chance.
Yeah.
For diabetics, without insulin, we die. So insulin needs to be accessible to everybody who needs it. It shouldn't be, can I eat today or can I take a shot of insulin today? Like that's so a lot of people, like, do your research. A lot of people are dying and it's not okay. I think a lot of it's because people just don't know what type 1 diabetes is. You know, it doesn't affect enough people to have it
For sure.
be something that's a big deal. You know, it's not cancer. There's not tons of versions of it, of millions of people who are dying. It's a certain amount of group of people, and it sucks.
I can imagine.
But yeah, getting it at 10 years old, I mean, I had to grow up really fast.
Sure.
It was, I mean, getting a disease like that, like having to know how to live when you're 10 years old, like giving yourself shots and testing your blood, like that was not,
insane.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it. So my parents were, you know, they had to do everything with me. So growing up, I really associated my parents with like doctor appointments, ER, asking me what my blood sugar is like 300 times a day. And I get it now, like I get why they had to do all that stuff, because I was 10 years old and then I was 15 and I was really a crappy teenager who didn't care and was like, poor me, I have diabetes. And you know, now like as an adult, I'm like, wow, I would have been screwed without them.
For sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm really lucky, and like not a lot of people are. And so, I mean, if this video goes viral, you guys, let's
going viral.
let's get affordable insulin. And I don't care like what side of political side you are on. Like I just think it's important that insulin's affordable. You know.
Yeah.
What else, Tyler? What have I learned from having diabetes?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
A whole lot, I can imagine.
Oh yeah. You know, actually, so getting it at such a young age, I really just like trusted whatever doctors told me. I didn't like take time to investigate anything myself or to be my own advocate. I was like, oh, the doctors know best, right? But like within these last 2 years, and honestly, since I've started dating my boyfriend Austin, I've like learned that I probably should be the expert in my diabetes, because I'm with it all the time.
Right.
Diabetes has no breaks. I mean, it's 24/7, every minute of my life. Even when I'm sleeping, I have it. And so the last 2 years, I've really tried to take control of diabetes, and not easy, but I am getting equipment that makes it easier to do it. So I've learned to be very patient and resilient. But I've also learned that life is, I am not, that people aren't immune to death. Like it's, if you don't take care of yourself, or if something happens, like, and you're not prepared, it can end bad. So I've had to become very dedicated to how well I prepare myself, which Austin will tell you is a daily struggle. But you know, it's just like the simple things. Like I'm going on a walk, I have to have something with me in case I get low. I have to have insulin with me in case I get high. If I'm going to work, I have my tester, my insulin, my backup insulin, something if I get low, something if I get high. Like it's not just like a get up and leave and get out the door.
Is that like all like in a bag?
Yeah, so like... I can show you. So this is my lovely little bag.
Oh, nice.
Yep, I carried it everywhere.
Yeah.
So right now I'm wearing a CGM, which is a continuous glucose monitor.
Okay.
I have a little picture for you there. So, that's not it though. Hold on. So the CGM basically tells me what my blood is all the time. So this is newer technology. People did not have this before. Like way back in the day, diabetes was like you got diabetes and you were going to die. I don't know where to go. But anyways, the CGM, it's in my blood, it's in my tissue of my skin. So it's constantly monitoring what my blood sugar is, and it attaches to my phone, and I have a certain range.
Nice.
Yeah. So I have a certain range of where I want to be. Okay. And if I go above it or below it, it alarms me, it alarms my parents, it alarms Austin. Sorry about all the alarms. But like in the middle of the night, if my blood sugar gets low, that kills a lot of diabetics too, because if your blood sugar gets too low, then you usually go into a seizure or a coma, and then your organs start shutting down. Yeah. Right. So I have this as a way to protect myself, and then they're on it too, because if I get too low, I don't even hear anything, I don't wake up. So they call me or Austin wakes me up.
Yeah.
And then I have a pump. This is brand new as of yesterday. And this gives me insulin. It's like my own electronic little pancreas. I have to tell it what to do and how much insulin and put in all my information, like how many carbs I'm eating.
That's crazy.
Yeah, everything I put in my
day,
mouth.
Every day you do that.
Every minute of every day. Yeah, constantly.
Wow.
And it constantly fluctuates. Like, today was the first time I woke up in probably like 5 years with a blood sugar that was in range. And I had like energy and I didn't feel crappy. And I was like, I don't know, I was a morning person. Yeah, I was like, I thought I hated the morning. Like, this is weird. But so like with technology, it definitely is better. But diabetes is just like, it's a really cruel disease, and it doesn't matter who you are. If you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it, and you're gonna have it for life because there's no cure yet. That was very depressing, but it's true.
Yeah.
Let me see. I have a list of what we talked about. Always prepared.
You are. I like it.
Let me see. So, more. Hi, Sherry. Oh my gosh, I miss you. I think people are really. So he said people underestimate diabetics. I think absolutely. I think that. I think it's hard to know how much time and effort goes into diabetes. I mean, it's every second of every day. And like my boyfriend Austin, he has pretty much became like my little doctor. He investigates a bunch of things.
Sure, yeah.
And he holds me accountable, which is really nice because having it as a young child, I think that people just, they felt bad for me, you know? So if I wasn't doing well, it was okay. That's okay. It's okay. But Austin's like, well, why aren't you doing well? Like, okay, can you meditate? Can you jump on your trampoline? That helps.
Really?
A little bit of
Really?
trampoline.
It does?
Yeah. I got that advice from Carl Towns' doctor to go on a sauna and to jump on a mini trampoline because it awakens your lymphatic system and helps you sweat. And before that, I never sweat. Like I could go into a sauna and I just get red. Like so, and it's common for diabetics for some reason. Like I don't know. I didn't do research on that, but that really changed the game for me, to be honest. But yeah, just becoming your own advocate and your own expert has been really important to me, and I've definitely had that. That's like my main focus now, and like knowing that I can't do everything, and that I can't always say yes to every plan that's asked because if I spread myself too thin, I literally get sick.
Right.
So it's just like a delicate balance and constantly having to think. I'm sure I could think harder and more sometimes,
Yeah.
but honestly, diabetic burnout is such a real thing. It's because you don't get a break, you know?
No, it's just-
And I'm not trying to be like a pity party, but like realistically, if you have someone in your life who's a
There's
type 1
no
diabetic,
break at
like
all.
check in on them. It's not easy. And if they don't have a good support system, I mean, I have friends who care and who are protective. I have parents who are outstanding. I have a boyfriend who's more than supportive and just wants me to be okay. I have always people in my corner who, without them, I don't know what I would do, you know? I can't tell you how many times Austin's had to grab something for me because I'm going to pass out because I'm low. One of our first dates, we were at a movie, and I was like, I thought I was just nervous. Like, I didn't know that my blood sugar was getting low. And I was like, oh, my tunnel vision's starting to happen. Like, I feel like I'm going to pass out. I'm like, I'm going to test my blood really quick. Sidebar, Austin was afraid of blood when we first started dating. He's gotten over that.
I was gonna say
he has like
good now.
yeah, like in little
He's fine
quantities,
now.
like pricking your finger. He's fine.
Yeah.
But I tested my blood and I was 39, which is super low, like very dangerous. And he had to sprint out of the theater, and he came back with like cookies and pop and candy, and I could just like see the sheer terror in his face, and I was like, oh my god, this affects, and that doesn't just like affect me, it affects like everyone who cares about me, and
100%.
that motivates me to want to take care of myself more, especially during the burnout. Like if I'm burnt out and I'm just like, I do not care,
This sucks.
yeah, I like look at my parents, I look at my friends, I look at Austin, and I'm like, okay, I gotta care. Like it's not just about me. Like if something happens to me, then I hurt all these people, and I know what it's like to lose somebody, so it's not great, and I don't want to be that pain for anybody else. So,
Crazy.
Yeah, so like some of the questions that you would ask me, it was like, does it come and go? Nope.
It's just
It's here all the time.
Yeah.
It's really great. Is there a benchmark or cure? No, but the benchmark, so it's called an A1C. Basically, you go to the doctor, they do lab work, and they test your blood to see what the average is over 3 months. So there's like 5 is ideal. Someone who's not diabetic, you should be a 5. 7 is ideal for a type 1 diabetic. That means your ranges are between like 120 and 150. And anything above that's really bad. So needless to say, I have A1C of 9, which is bad. But it's getting better. I was at a 12 before, which was awful. It's like super dangerous. A normal range to be like for blood sugar is like 80 to 120. That's what you want to be. It's almost impossible to stay in that without like technology like this. I was on needles before, and that was a huge struggle. I could not keep myself like in a tight pattern. It was all over the place. Like I'd go from being like 500 to dropping down to like 75, and when that happens, your body is just like in shock.
I'm sure, it's all over the place.
And that happens. I'm just sitting there at work, like, just another day.
I feel terrible.
Yeah.
I can't do anything about
And
it.
you can only, because diabetes is so like misunderstood in the sense that like people think it's type 2. Like, it's really important that you have coworkers and a boss who understands that like this is not a joke, and like this is my life. And sometimes it's going to be really bad, and sometimes I'm going to be great. And it's just, I don't have control over when those days happen, but I do have control over how I feel about them. And for the most part, I try to have a positive attitude. Definitely not all the time. Definitely not all the time. Austin's probably laughing at like right now, like, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Well, I mean, it's,
but
it's going to be so hard.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but at least I have a choice. Like I have a choice whether or not to like try my hardest to take care of myself. Do I make that choice all the time? No. Should I? Yes. And I'm working on that. I think a lot about type 1 diabetes and like being successful is admitting to like your faults that you have with it, and like being like, that's okay, because it's gonna get better. I can try harder. Because if you strive for perfection, you're just going to disappoint yourself a lot.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you can't strive to be healthy. So that's what I'm striving for. So next time I come on, hopefully my A1C is like a 7. And then
you're going to be rolling then.
Yeah, you guys, it's going to be great.
You're going to be excited.
Yeah. What else? I mean, I wrote down all these things. I didn't even need to read them. I seriously was so nervous. I was like, what? I feel like I'm going to blank out
nervous about.
And not even know what diabetes is.
Forgot all about diabetes.
Yeah, honestly, it's, I really liked this paragraph that I found in this article it's called Beyond Type 1. It's like a community of online for type 1 diabetics. And I never submit anything, I never comment on anything, but I read everything.
What's up with that?
I don't know. I'm too, like I said, like me coming here and talking about diabetes is
a huge
super out of my, like I'm usually just very surface level with it. Just out of like the comfort of, for me and for everyone else around me, like I don't want anyone to feel bad for me. Like I don't want them to be like, oh, your blood sugar is 500, but you're still here and like you look like you're great. And I'm like, yeah, I'm dying on the inside, but I'm great. I don't want that. I'm just like, yeah, I'm here. Like, it's just.
I hear you.
Yeah. So this is from Beyond Type 1, and it's actually from the point of view of a wife to her husband. So her husband has type 1 diabetes.
Okay.
And so she wrote, life with type 1 is a perpetual and exhausting tightrope act. The goal is to achieve optimal blood glucose levels without getting too high or too low, but despite constant finger pricks and to check and recheck blood sugars, meticulous dosage and timing of insulin boluses, counting carbs, and considering a myriad of other factors, it is virtually impossible to mimic the human pancreas. Factors that impact blood sugar include and are not limited to all food, healthy or unhealthy, stress, imperfect timing of dosage of insulin, dehydration, exercise, weather, sleep, too much or lack of, inconsistent schedule, hormones, caffeine, illness, like everything. Like if I was to get a cut, like I've had like this little tiny cut for a month, like I just don't heal well because there's not enough, like for some reason circulation doesn't go like to my extremities as well, so I'm not going to heal as fast.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. But
That's so crazy.
yeah, it's a really intense disease, but it's doable if you have the right resources,
Right.
which a lot of people don't have the right resources because it's so expensive and they can't afford it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not okay. Like, you shouldn't have to choose, you know.
No, 100%.
So, like I said, I'm super fortunate, and I know that. And so I'm always like, whatever I can do to, like, either if it's like donating insulin that I don't need,
Interesting.
which is actually kind of sketchy to do. People, it's like a black
gonna say,
market.
it's gonna be a little-
It's weird.
It's
Yeah,
pretty interesting.
I've done it once or twice. I haven't done it since I've lived up here because I've like,
Yeah, you.
I don't know. Like,
have no idea
I
what's
just get
going on
nervous.
here,
I'm like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
But it's like a hot commodity. It's
Really?
weird. Yeah, people are driving to Canada to get insulin because it's only $30 up there, which a bottle down here is $300.
Oh my gosh.
Same bottle, same insulin.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
That's
you're
nuts.
telling me it's stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. So, I mean, yeah. It's just, that's a huge, huge problem, and I don't think that, like, it's like a little clip in the newspaper, it's a little story in the news, but it's a huge deal to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you really care about any disease until you have it or someone you love has it.
Mm-hmm.
In that, I understand, but it's very unfortunate to not be knowledgeable about things that do happen around us.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're super courageous because you're coming out here and you're like building community and you're
Thank you.
You really are, like,
I
this
appreciate
is
that.
like this is brave. I have like maybe 2 type 1 diabetic friends, but they're not even like
Really?
people that I see or talk to. Like, I met them in college. Listener had no other type 1 diabetics. Yeah,
I was
like,
gonna say, yeah, it's.
yeah. Do you remember there was a time, it was a homecoming dance. I think you were in college, but you came home that weekend, and I couldn't go because I was sick. Like, I just didn't feel good. My blood sugar was off.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came and got ready with Kelsey and you guys at your house.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up not being able to go, so I just sat down with you and your dad, and you guys were watching basketball, and I just
I
sat
don't
there,
remember that, obviously. That was so long ago.
like
There's
in
no
my
way.
homecoming dress, and I was like,
This sucks.
and your mom's like, can I get you water? Like, what else do you need? And I'm like, thank you so much for loving me. Don't tell my mom, I still want to go.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Cindy Logue and Jim Logue. You guys are great.
For sure.
Yeah, it's just growing up with it as a young kid, that's hard. Because you have to know enough to take care of yourself, and like, you're 10.
Yeah, you're 10 years old, so you're like.
Oh my gosh. I mean, when I was, honestly, from like 13 to 16, diabetes was my enemy. Like, I hated it.
I'm sure you do.
I tried to ignore it as much as I could. Like, I would not take insulin. I wouldn't test my blood. Like, I just was like,
Screw you.
nope, don't want it, don't care.
Yeah.
Just don't. And then eventually I got neuropathy in my back. And neuropathy is like when your nerve endings die. And that's from having high blood sugar.
Okay.
And so it was hard to walk. It hurt.
Really?
And I was like, maybe I have to care. Like, maybe my parents are right.
Maybe
Oh,
I
like,
should do a
Hannah, you
little
have to
bit
take
more
this
about
seriously,
this.
you know? You can't just be some moody teenager. But I was. I definitely was. But I learned.
Yeah.
And I will not do that again. Hopefully. No, I won't.
Yeah.
Diabetes definitely has to become more of like a partner with you. Like, it's literally your baby. It's going everywhere with you. It's not leaving you alone. It's very needy. It's very consuming. But if you take care of it, it can be manageable. But getting
be
there is
manageable.
hard. It can be. It can be. Yep. I'm such a keep telling myself that.
Yes. It is doable.
Oh my God, I talk really fast. I covered like everything.
You flew.
Like,
You talk so fast.
I know.
I'm so like I take forever, and like you're just flying.
Oh my God,
Just
I'm
flying
so
by.
sorry.
It's okay.
I mean, I'm sure I can think of other things to talk about. What do you have any questions?
Let's see here. Let's see. Are there any chat? Are there anyone in chat who's interested? Hi, Hannah.
How can you tell me people are watching?
Top of the corner here.
7 viewers.
What's that?
Kelsey, I
What
know
the heck
you're.
you got here? What do you got on this?
Okay, well, hi. Well, this is just more like, I mean, I can read it. See, the problem with me is when I read like, like I don't take time to enunciate or breathe. Like it just, like I could rattle it off in 30 seconds, which...
If I read, it's going to take an hour, so I mean, we're doing good. You're doing good.
Either way, no one would understand what I'm saying. Okay, so I can say this. Type 2 is typically the result of diet and lifestyle choices and is largely preventable. It's a disease we've unfortunately become accustomed to hearing about on a regular basis. But what about the millions in the country living with type 1? They seem to be lost in discussion, which I kind of have said before. Both diseases are a result of problems with insulin, one of the hormones the body uses to regulate blood sugar and derive energy from food. But that's where the similarities between the diseases end. Very simply put, type 2 diabetes has to do with insulin resistance. The pancreas produces it, but the body doesn't use the insulin properly. Type 2 can be managed through a combination of diet, exercise, and medication. Meanwhile, type 1 is an autoimmune disease, which the pancreas stops producing insulin altogether. Type 1 diabetics rely on insulin injections to lower blood sugar. Insulin is not a cure, but just simply allows a person to stay alive. I think that's it's scary to know that the choices I made as a kid could come and like haunt me in the future. Because like the damage that I did to myself when I was younger, it plays effect into like my vision, or if I get a cut on my hand and then I lose my hand, like it
I suppose.
Like that sounds really dramatic, but like
I mean, yeah.
So, like she had said, the complications of type 1 are grave, and honestly, like whenever I'm feeling like I'm not doing a good job taking care of myself, or like I need more motivation, I look at like complications of diabetes and I get terrified. I'm like,
so
okay,
I
don't want to become blind. I don't want kidney failure. I don't want to amputate any limb. On average, this is a really depressing statistic, but on average, type 1 diabetics have a life expectancy that's 10 to 20 years shorter than a normal person.
Really?
So, found that little detail out a couple years ago, and I was like,
oh
no, it's not what you want, ideally.
Yeah.
But that's reflecting like people from however long ago that did, right,
yeah,
and from a long time ago where like they didn't have all the technology, and so like if they were just giving themselves shots, like that's hard to control.
That's all
you're gonna have complications.
Yeah.
But hopefully the more technology comes out, the easier it is for us to manage. Or if someone's just sitting on a cure out there, like just give it to us.
I need it now.
People want it.
People want it right now.
Yeah. I mean, what else? God, I'm a terrible podcast visit.
I had some. I can't recall everything that I asked you before, but I'll try and pull it up here.
Okay.
Are you happy that I'll try and jot down here.
No, you keep reading it out.
I know.
Keep reading it out.
I have to do something.
No, keep reading it. Oh, you have to do it. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were just going to write it something. I was like, no.
Are you happy that you have it?
No.
You're not?
No. I mean, I am...
It probably changed. It probably changed how... I can't even say that word, but...
Say it. You can say it.
I need help.
Okay, fine. How you look at life.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm not happy I have diabetes, but I am happy for all the experiences it has given me. I think that if I didn't have it, I would be a lot more mature. Which, I mean, you have to grow up really fast at 10 with diabetes.
At that age. Yeah.
I've just learned so many life lessons to be more patient and like to really try to like think about what that person might be going through versus like, oh, they're just being mean. Like, if I'm mean to you, it's because my blood sugar is probably high, or I just don't like you. But I don't dislike lots of people, so it's probably my blood sugar is high.
All.
Yeah.
All right. Is type 1 harder to deal with than type 2?
Like overall, I would say yes. I think that people with type 2 can definitely have a lot of things go wrong as well.
Mm-hmm.
Type 2, it's not as, like, you don't have to be your own pancreas. Like, you don't have to think about everything. You can control it through working out, watching what you eat, medication. With type 1, there's outside factors that you can't control that affect your blood sugar. So I don't want to say that it's easier. Like, I think the general consensus would be, like, type 1 is harder than type 2.
Right.
But I think that, like, it just really depends on the person. Yeah. Like, someone, like, I know people, I've met people who have been type 1, are like, oh, it's simple, it's easy. In my mind, I'm like, I hate you.
Really?
What are you doing? Yeah, like, and they just, like, almost, like, shame you because you're, like, not doing as well as they are.
Really?
Like, oh, well, I do this, this, and this, and I can eat Twix, and I can eat this, and you're like, okay, well, good for you.
So see, I have a problem with that word right there, you know. So do you have to have a specific diet at all?
I can't say the word specific usually.
Specific?
Did I even say it right? I don't think I did.
Said it right.
Yes. As a child, I was told I could eat whatever I wanted as long as I covered with insulin, and Sherry Schmidt knows that because I said it to her multiple times, probably being like, no, Sherry, I can have those cookies, it's fine.
I can have that bar.
Yeah. Are you sure, Hannah? This is my homemade, like, caramel, whatever, that caramel goodness that she makes. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Shouldn't have ate it. Always did. Worth it. Could I eat it now?
Still is worth it, right?
I know.
Still
is. God. Could I eat it now? I could only eat a little bit.
Okay.
I really am trying to figure out. Oddly enough, I did a DNA test. Turns out, I'm just kidding. I haven't gotten the results yet, but basically it's going to tell me like what my body needs to function at its optimum level. Like if I have any tolerances, or like if I'm not going to absorb fat as well, and like that triggers me to like have inflammation or something along those lines, or if I'm lactose intolerant, which I'm not. I don't think, but like it gives me kind of like an update on what's going on in my body, what kind of supplements I need in order to like feed what I'm missing or enhance what I do have. Waiting on those results, but I am taking, right now I take like 28 supplements.
28?
Yeah.
What the heck is it?
Literally
just
from like
everything?
Things you've never heard of.
I'm sure, yeah.
that like help with diabetes. So that's like
28 though?
Yeah, so I have an AM dose and I have a PM dose. Okay. So like I take like 14 to 16 in the morning and take like 10 or 12 in the night. So I mean that's anywhere from of course Brad asks, Hannah, are there any foods that you don't like that are really good for your diabetes? Well, Brad.
Probably a ton, huh?
Let me see.
Chocolate at all?
Do I like chocolate?
Well,
yeah, I love chocolate. But are there any foods that are good for me that I don't like? Honestly, Austin is quite the chef and has opened my eyes that I'm a grown-up and I can eat vegetables.
I still can't. I hate
Tyler,
vegetables.
you have to try Brussels sprouts.
No.
That's Brussels sprouts caramelized with bacon. Oh my God.
Caramelized with bacon.
Yeah, it's Austin's the chef, so I don't exactly remember what goes into it. But I like another way. These vegetables. Okay, you get tons of vegetables, like every color in the rainbow. You put them in a bowl. You get olive oil. You have Italian seasoning, salt and pepper. You mix it up, and then you put it on a platter. No, what's it called? A pan. A
Sure.
platter.
Sure, pan.
You put it in the oven for 45 minutes. The vegetables come out and they taste like heaven. And it's like super minimal carbs, which is important. That's what I count.
Yeah.
Super good for you, and it tastes like you're eating not healthy.
Heaven.
Yeah, it's like you're cheating, and you have to try it. Honestly, I did not like vegetables until I started dating Austin. He's like, no, we'll taste it this way and that way. I'm like, oh, vegetables don't have to suck?
Yeah.
I had no idea. No, luckily, Austin is the chef. We have this like little menu board at home, and I just wrote whatever Austin's making in like permanent marker because it never changes.
Because it's always good, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm making dinner, it's gonna be like toast. No. The other day I made chili. Like I can throw something. I'm a mean crock potter. I can put things in a crock pot. Yeah. My friend Murph gave me some really good recipes. One of my favorites is vegetables, like peppers mixed with sausage, and like you fry it up together.
Mm-hmm.
Super good, Tyler. You just gotta try, okay? Is there any advancements for type 1 diabetics for a cure? Not that I'm willing to bet money on. I mean, there is. So it's recent that people have found out that type 1 diabetes happens because your beta cells get killed out by your immune system. When I got diagnosed 15 years ago, they simply just thought that my pancreas just didn't produce insulin, right? Mm-hmm. Embarrassing enough, I found out that my immune system is responsible from it because Austin did the research and told me, and I was like, how come no one told me that? Like, and that's when I was like, oh my gosh, I can't just rely on doctors to give me all the information. Like, yes, doctors are great, but like you have to be your biggest advocate.
Yeah.
And I felt so stupid. I was like, how did I not know that about my own disease? But there's no real advancements that are going to be FDA approved. Getting a pancreas transplant isn't going to work because your immune system's just going to kill it off. Like it's already made to do that. My dad keeps saying, well, there'll be a cure in 10 years, I bet. I'm like, no, Dad, that was 5 years ago. 10 years was up.
It's still doable.
Right. I'm like pessimistically optimistic.
Yeah.
Is that even? I
think that works.
Okay, whatever.
Good, yeah.
So like I want to believe that it will be, but I'm not holding my breath because that would just hurt way too bad to not have it be the reality.
Right. Sure.
But like I said, a lot of people compare diabetes and cancer. Like, oh, you have diabetes. At least you don't have cancer. I want to punch people in the face. Like, yes, you are right. I don't have cancer, and I'm very glad because cancer is super serious, and they don't always get a chance whether or not they get to live and what kind of condition like the rest of their life is, and that is so heartbreaking. Yeah. So what I try to take from that when someone says that is like, you know what? They mean that I get a choice for the most part. Like I get a choice as to whether or not I do all the right steps to keep myself healthy, right? But just don't tell diabetics that at least it's not cancer because we just, I won't punch you. I'll just think it in my head. I won't actually do it. I can't promise, but I will try not to.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Does that make me an awful person for being like?
No, it doesn't.
I don't know. It's always been something I've been told, and I've always just been like, but they're two separate things, and like they're both severe in their own ways.
Right. They are. Yeah.
And without insulin, I mean, diabetes is super deadly. So, yeah. I don't know. Any more questions?
Let's see if I can come up with some more.
Yes.
Oh, you can just answer that one.
Why am I doing this video?
And to that, do you have any advice to any people who also either have type 2 or type one
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
You can answer that.
Okay.
Like,
God, that was a very complex
look at
question,
I don't know
Tyler.
about that. So you
Because my first question was, why am I doing this video?
yeah.
Tyler guilted me into it.
What?
Just kidding. No. Honestly, I was really inspired by you doing something that's way out of your comfort zone. And trying to spread awareness and build a community, and I think that's so important. And here I am being like, people need to listen to type 1 diabetes and blah 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 blah, but like, are people really doing what all they can do to like make a difference?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm not. So when you were like, hey Hannah, do you want to come on and talk about your experiences? I was like, and then I like really thought about it, and I was like, if I say no, that just means that I'm not brave, or I'm not vulnerable enough to like really talk about something that impacts me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be that person.
For sure.
So that's why I'm here. And Tyler guilted me. That is part of it.
I don't even remember that, actually.
I'm just kidding. You didn't guilt me at all. You didn't guilt me at all. Do you have any advice for people who have type 2 or type 1? Either type, just take care of yourself. Drink lots of water. That's super important.
Oh, is it?
Especially for diabetics. Yeah, hydrate. And just like be honest with how you're doing in the moment. Like if you're having a really crappy day, that's okay. Tomorrow's a new day. Just make sure that you're at least doing everything you can to make sure you're safe, because burnout is going to happen. And for every time you burn out, think about what inspires you to want to be better. For me, a big inspiration is like someday I want to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And type 1 diabetes makes that very complicated.
Yeah.
So in order to have a kid, I have to be in my A1C has to be in a certain range, and I have to be able to like withstand that range for a long amount of time. So that's something that like really, I love kids. Like that's something that I want, and
100%.
if I want that,
That's awesome.
I have to work really hard. So that's a big motivator for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, just find what motivates you and grab onto that, and just try to remember why it's worth like doing all this hard work,
Mm-hmm.
even when it sucks.
Right. Even when it sucks.
And don't go to Dave & Buster's during cold and flu season, because you'll get influenza.
And then you're screwed.
I learned that the hard way. Yeah.
What else can I come up with here?
Kelsey, where are you at?
I don't know where Kelsey's at. Jordy's crazy.
He's so cute. Hi, little buddy.
Okay. Let's see.
Pressure's on.
Oh, I gotta come up with some other things.
Hmm.
You have all these things, like what else you got in this? You have a big booklet here.
I know. I highlighted so many things. I would do this in college too. I would like really prep for my speech, and then I would totally not look at anything I wrote down and just do it candid, and then like leave it and be like, what did I even say? So
I got one for you.
All right.
So how does what did you ask, Tyler? That's a horrible question. It's ain't about me.
Who is that?
That is a girl from I believe Holland.
Oh, cool. Very
Who
cool.
also has a speech problem.
Very cool.
Is
She's
who-
right.
is
I
who
could ask you a
that
question,
is.
Tyler.
You could. I'm gonna ask you something
Okay.
first.
Sorry. All right.
So how does the job that you are at help day to day?
Good question. So the boss. So the job I'm at actually allows me to have a schedule. Like I can stick to a schedule. At my old job, I ended up having to leave. Wow, he really sheds.
It's terrible.
I had to leave because it was just so unpredictable, and I didn't always have time for a lunch break, and I was constantly sick. I worked in a retirement community as a director of life enrichment and had staff, and it was great. I loved my job, but I was constantly sick because older people have compromised immune systems. And then there was a viral case of influenza, and I almost died. I was like, can't work here. But I missed it so much. But this new job I'm at, I'm a corporate event planner and tenant experience coordinator for a skyscraper in downtown Minneapolis. It is super exciting, and I love it. And it's more of the business side of my major, which I didn't know I'd be interested in. But now that I'm in it, I'm like, oh wow, I really like this stuff.
Nice. Yeah, this is fun.
But this job allows me to have a schedule, and they're very understanding when it comes to like doctor appointments, or like if I'm not feeling well, they'll let me work from home, which like is, I always feel guilty when that happens because I never want to like abuse that power that's given to me. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, they help me by being understanding, and like yesterday I got this set up, and I got to work today, and every single person asked me like, how's your new pump? Like everyone just cares, and that's
really cool.
That's super rare. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. Cool. And like when I found out I was getting my pump, my boss was like super stoked for me. Like it was just nice to like that people care enough to be like, wow, like you're gonna be healthier, we feel so happy for you. Like that's really nice. And this job allows me to like self-regulate. I like work out during lunch when I'm not lazy. I know TJ is gonna watch, and he's gonna be like, this is the first time you worked out in 2 weeks. I had bronchitis, so leave me alone. But yeah, I forgot the question you asked.
You forgot the question.
What was I saying? Oh, the job. Yeah. So it's nice having a job that's supportive. I've definitely been in jobs before that was just like diabetes, like just very like minimized, like like you're always sick, you're always this or that.
Yeah. What's your problem?
Right. You know, like this is the kind of job that like even if I'm not feeling well, like I'm still gonna go into work and try, because I know my coworkers are understanding, and I'm hoping that like the days will only get better. Like I won't have such high and low blood sugars. Like today I felt awesome. I feel awesome, which is super rare. Like my mom, if I was to talk to my mom, she'd be like, how are you? I'd be like,
oh, amazing.
Great.
Yeah.
But today I'm like, actually, I'm pretty good. Like I have hope. I'm excited. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's getting better. Fingers crossed. I don't want to like set myself up for failure, but yes.
So how has the new pump changed, I guess you could?
Yeah. So for like 5 years, seriously, my blood sugars would trend anywhere from like 300 to 60 in a day, which is a lot. That's really hard on your body. And that was just common for me. So like I commonly felt like crap. And the pump, I've only had it for 48 hours, but I have never felt better. Like it's,
well, you're enjoying it, obviously.
Yeah, like I called my dad, and I was like, I feel great. Like I think this is gonna change everything. Like I really believe that.
That's so cool.
But like saying that out loud is really hard for me, because what if it doesn't? And then I have to be like, another thing didn't work. Right. So I'm trying to be positive, not pessimistic. So yeah, it's given me hope, which I think I lacked a lot. I just thought I was always going to not feel good.
So how did you hear about the pump?
So my Dexcom, which is the thing that's in my stomach that measures my blood sugar through my tissue, it is the only pump that's compatible with that. And I've tried other pumps and other sensors, which is the Dexcom, and I hated everyone else. Hated and there was just so many glitches and so many alarms, and nothing was accurate. Nothing ever matched up. Like this would say I'm 200, this would say I'm 100. Like
Gotcha.
It was just super off. But like this technology is so advanced and so good that like it helps me predict like what trend I'm going. It tells me how much insulin is in my body currently and how long it's going to take my body to absorb that insulin. Like it's so individualized to me that yeah, it's amazing. So I heard about it because I was like, I'm not getting rid of the Dexcom. and I want a pump that communicates with that Dexcom, and this is the only
Right.
pump that did.
The only one. That's the only
one.
pump.
That is the only pump. Yep. No other
That's
pump.
crazy.
Yep. Because I mean, Medtronic is like the biggest. But I didn't have great experiences with Medtronic. With like Tandem, I got set up on Monday. She came to my house. She met with me in Austin. She sat down. She took time to like teach me everything and answer questions that like I felt like when she came in, I was like, oh my god, somebody who knows diabetes and like is objective. I want to talk to you. And she like did talk to me, which is great. And she's like, here's my number. Text me if you have any issues. We're here for you. We're like Medtronic. You'd wait on the phone for 2 hours, waiting for the next representative to answer your call.
That sucks.
So I'm really impressed so far. Hopefully I continue to love it. I added myself to a support group on Facebook called Dexcom T-Slim, and
that's cool.
I don't know if it was a great idea though, because people were like really complaining about it, and I'm like, oh, my experience is not like that. Maybe people who like it just don't post. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Trying to think, what else? Does Jordy like dogs? Other dogs?
He does.
So does my dog.
He does. He's a crazy man.
Oh. Hi. You're so cute. He's so cute. All right, Tyler, I have a question.
Oh,
what did you learn today?
Today?
From me.
What I learned?
Hi.
Everything.
Come here.
Oh,
that's
boy.
not an answer.
What did I... A lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
I did not know that it happened at the age of 10. Like I did not have any idea about that at all.
Like for me, it did. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens to everyone. Oh my god, look how cute you are.
Yeah, did not have any idea about that at all.
Yeah.
I kind of recall a time that you had to give
You got it.
Oh, I got it.
You got it.
How to give Jordy. Your self a lot of shots, but I didn't know that it impacted you on pretty much a minute basis, I guess.
Yeah, it does. And I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah.
It impacts, it's every second of every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually, so to think about it, so being younger, right? your parents, like, I was at your house all the time, so your parents must have been like, all right, we gotta learn about diabetes because this chick's here all the time.
Yeah.
And, like, there was no other real, like, family that I really went on family, like, vacations with because it was such a big deal to spend the night somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I spent the night at your parents' house
A lot. Yeah.
a lot. I think Kelsey could even give me shots. Like,
Yeah.
it was just a really, so thank you, Brad and Sherry, for helping make my childhood more normal by allowing me to have sleepovers because that wasn't always the case. There was a time where we were at Callie Velter's house, and you know Callie.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
She's
And I think it
awesome.
was me, Callie, Brooke, and Greta, and my blood sugar was low. And we were young. Like I wasn't at the level of, like, telling people what it meant to have low blood sugar. Like, I mean, like, they knew that I needed sugar. Whatever.
That's
yeah, I didn't want to make a big deal about it. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And they were, like, dancing downstairs. Or I think they were playing ping pong, where the kind where, like, if you score, you lift up your, like, shirt to your stomach.
Yeah.
So you can wail on the person with the ball. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's that called?
I don't even remember, to be honest. I don't
Something
remember.
pelts. I don't know. Whatever. They're playing that, and this is from Callie's point of view. They heard like a collision. No, I can't think of the word. They heard me drop to the floor.
A boom.
A boom. Thank you. Oh God. Yeah, a boom. And, like, they came running up there, and this was like 7th grade, and I just remember, like, waking up and I see all their faces and they're all like, oh my God.
What happened?
And I think that was the first time that, like, with my friends, that we were like, oh my God, yeah, this isn't a normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time where Mr. Hilaritas was the health teacher, and he had a 3-week-long lesson plan on diabetes, and I wanted to blow up
Really?
because everyone in class was like, Hannah, are you okay? Like,
Yeah, it's all yeah.
oh my God. And Callie took
All
it to
about
the
you.
next extreme. She's like, Hannah, whatever you need, like, are your shoes dirty? Let me clean them off. Like, I wanted to just punch her. Like, I always wanted to be treated normal. I didn't want to be special because I had diabetes. I didn't want you to feel bad for me.
I hear you.
I wanted you to just be like, that's what it is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
As an adult, I know it now. It's something that I need to acknowledge and be like, this is how it is, but, like, it's fine. If I need help, I'll ask for it. Which asking for help is super hard. Like, I think that's the part I struggle most with. I just want to be able to do it by myself to prove to myself that I'm independent.
Yeah.
But if I just, like, let someone grab the juice for me, then maybe I won't feel like I'm going to pass out so much.
Yeah.
I don't know. Diabetes is it's a burden, honestly. And when you're dating somebody, or you're in a relationship with somebody, or you're friends with somebody, or you're the daughter, when you're with them, that burden's on them too. And I'm very aware of that. You know what I mean? Like, every time I go shopping with my mom, my blood sugar gets low. I don't know why. I think it's just because I'm just, like, so relieved of stress, and she's spending money on me, and I'm like, give me everything. Yeah. And my blood sugar gets low.
So cool.
Or, like, hanging out with Austin, like, my blood sugar will get low just because my stress is, like, relieved. Or I feel more just, like, normal. Like, it's not, like, I don't feel like I'm caring so much. But I think that, like, as much as you should check in on your type 1 diabetics, you should also check in on people that love them, because they're just as invested usually, and sometimes they're more invested at the time than you are.
I'm sure that's
I've definitely ran into that before.
Yeah.
But luckily, you know, when it's a good relationship and it's healthy with your parents, with your boyfriend, with your friends, like, you know, they forgive you even when you're not great at, like, loving and taking care of yourself with diabetes.
Yeah.
Because not getting a break sucks. It does.
Sure.
But getting to live is awesome. So that's the upside.
That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Sherry, I love you too. I wish you guys didn't live in Texas. I called Kelsey before. I'm like, is there any way you're all going to be at Tyler's house?
Well, what's up with that?
Some scary ones too. Yeah, Sherry, elaborate. Give us some scary low blood sugar moments or high blood
horrible.
sugars. Oh my
Probably
gosh.
some horrible stories.
Yeah, but I don't even remember because there was
It's all
one.
day, every day,
Oh my
probably.
god, there was one time where my blood sugar was low and I was at the mall. I was shopping with Brooklyn, and I ran. So when your blood sugar's high, you're very like delusional and you're just like tunnel vision. It's just like you almost like you're drunk, kind of like it's just and you're crabby. You just like hate everything. And I ran into somebody, and Brooklyn grabs me and we're like 6 and she just goes, "Excuse her, she's high." We walk away, and like 2 days later, I was like, that lady probably was like, "What? Should I call the police?" Like, not everyone knows that like high blood, like she's high means high blood sugar. So I've had some like funny moments thinking about like back on that, like the lingo.
Yeah.
Oh, she's high. Like that's so normal to me now, but like you're like,
right.
What?
Sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm interested to know what's some scary moments.
So how did it change in college and school and all of that?
So, in high school, I missed a ton of days, and I credit that's why I'm so bad at math, because I had a great math teacher, Mr. Schmidt, but I just missed so many days, and especially math class, because it was my 8 a.m. class, and when I would wake up, my blood sugar would be high, and like, no way am I getting to school. But luckily, like, your dad and other great teachers, like, worked with me to be like, this is a homework assignment, like, I remember your dad just taking it very seriously and like knowing that this wasn't something that I was just like like there was one person at LSH that thought I was just like over exaggerating or like using it to my advantage, which I would have been like, that would have been sweet. Like I would have got made if I did that, but that was never really the case. Like I was just like super sick because when you're a kid, you have all those hormones and that causes high blood sugar and it's just terrible. But then I went to college. And I got really, really into working out. So, like, between classes, I would nap and I would work out, which napping and working out are great for diabetics. Like, that helps to control your blood sugar. So I did really well in college for the most part. Like, I had some scary moments, but I liked college and homework and all that stuff, so I thrived in that. Going to, like, my first job was hard because then I didn't know what to prioritize, my diabetes or my job. Is my job, right? No, it's your diabetes, but like learning that's been a really hard lesson. And like knowing that like at the end of the day, if the job can't support you with your diabetes, even though they're supposed to legally, but then it's just not. It's you can't work for a place that doesn't
for sure
value you, I guess. I don't know.
100%.
But yeah, college was great. I mean, I definitely had some scary moments in college too, and it was super hard. Like I couldn't party like everyone else. Like if I was gonna party, I had to pick one night that I was gonna drink
and go all in.
Yeah, that was it. And then I was sober the rest of the weekend. So I have so many good memories of all my college friends that they probably hate that I remember, but I remember. Yeah, and even like now, I really don't drink that often because it's hard because when you drink, you're also putting the responsibility on who you're drinking with. Because if my blood sugar gets low, they need to know that I'm not, but like, because drunk and low are also similar. Like if you're acting funny, like you just don't know. So the person that I'm drinking with needs to be like coherent of what my needs are, and I hate putting that on other people. So I'd much rather just be there and like present and enjoy my time versus drinking. And I'm a super lightweight, so like because I never really drank, so like I'm the cheapest date. But yeah, I mean, having to be diabetic during all those like pivotal moments of like puberty, awful if you're diabetic, awful, to like going to like high school and then you have all these like after school parties or like high school parties to like sporting events. Like I ended up not being able to play sports because my diabetes was so bad. I remember one time I had a really great game. My blood sugar was great. And the coach was like, if only we could get your blood sugar in that range all the time. Like, you're just amazing. And I was like, damn it. Like, I can't. Like, ugh.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was like, people would be running laps, and I'd have to stop because my blood sugar would go low, and everyone's just like, death glare, like, how dare you get out of these laps? I'm like,
Can't do it.
seriously, I'm gonna pass
You
out.
can't control it, yeah.
And then I was just like, it's just, I need to put my time and attention into diabetes. By my senior year, I was like, and then plus, I was doing PSEO,
Mm-hmm.
so I wasn't, thanks to your mom, she
That's
helped
like
me.
all I did.
Yeah,
I did that like a whole year.
Sherry, thank you so much for doing that, helping me get there, because that saved me so much tuition money. Like,
Yeah.
I graduated by the time I was 20 because I PSEO'd.
That's wild.
I know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
20.
20. Child.
Ooh, that's a little baby.
Yeah. Couldn't even drink legally.
No,
Yeah.
couldn't.
I couldn't. It was, yeah, it's crazy. But, yeah, I'm hoping that as time goes on, I become more flexible with how my body's changing, and I can get used to, like, being okay with it changing and just adapting to it versus being like being an event planner. I'm like, all right, these are the details, these are the logistics, stick to them, then they'll be done.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's how I wish diabetes was. Like, I wish I could just master it, and then I'd be the master of diabetes. But like, it changes so frequently that like
you can't.
No, you just have to like know your baseline, which I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll get there.
You're getting there.
I'll get there. Yeah.
For sure.
Hopefully.
Well, I think we're done here. I think we're done.
Good. I think
It wasn't that bad, was it?
No, I think I said like 5,000 words. Very smart.
You probably did, but that's okay.
Oh my god.
That's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for letting me come on and talk about it. And
absolutely.
You doing this podcast is super cool. Is this called a podcast?
I don't even know.
Okay, whatever this is, super cool. I mean, you're reaching somebody in Holland. That's amazing.
It is cool.
Yeah, it matters. So
yeah.
Hopefully this video goes viral. End up on Ellen. She
gives me
she gives me $25,000 from Shutterfly. I mean, that's
and then you're set. Then you're golden.
Yeah. Yeah. But thank you. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Good story, Hannah. Agreed. Yeah. All right, everybody. That's it.
Yeah.
That is it.